In a world rife with deception, oppression, and concealed truths, Iran has issued a startling declaration that is sending shockwaves through theological circles and global institutions alike. Iranian religious scholars have unveiled what they believe to be the ultimate spiritual revelation. The devil's greatest fear is the awakening of the Black Israelites. For centuries, the true identity of the Black Israelites has been shrouded in secrecy, distorted by Western doctrines, and obscured beneath layers of historical manipulation. According to Iranian theologians, this suppression has not been incidental but deliberate, a diabolical plot designed to prevent Black Israelites from reclaiming their divine heritage and true spiritual authority. Now, with an unprecedented awakening sweeping across the globe, Iran asserts that Satan's dominion is on the verge of collapse. Iran's interest in this movement is not without reason. Persian prophecies, deeply intertwined with ancient biblical texts, foretell a time when the true children of Israel will awaken and challenge the world's most sinister forces. If these theologians are correct, the Black Israelites are not merely reclaiming their history, they are fulfilling an apocalyptic destiny that threatens to dismantle the very foundations of global power structures. As these revelations continue to unfold, the question remains, how will the world respond to this inevitable shift? Will the forces of deception intensify their resistance, or will divine truth triumph over centuries of suppression? From over, and we want to hear your thoughts. Many theologians argue that the world has been locked in an unseen yet ferocious war for centuries, one not waged with swords or guns, but with deception, manipulation, and spiritual blindness. According to scholars from Qom and other centers of Islamic thought in Iran, this war seeks to obscure divine inheritance, suppress prophetic fulfillment, and prevent the rise of God's chosen people. At the heart of this battle stand the Black Israelites, whom Iranian religious leaders believe have been systematically targeted by Satan himself in a grand strategy designed to sever them from their spiritual identity. Some of you are hearing this story for the first time, and the questions in your mind are, fourfold, as some people will put it. Some will look at it in disbelief because they never heard it. Funny thing is, I've heard it from the elite in society. Rabbis now. When I say Rebbe, you call them rabbis. You call them Jews, you call them all kinds of names. But those who have studied their story and our story, our books, they go back all the way, they go back and study everybody from Moshe to Maimonides. They study the Babylonian text, the Egyptian text, the Assyrian text, and there's one more. I want you to guess which that one more is. The Iranian text. The four that one Israelite brought together to create the Old Testament. Just think about what I just said. There are four different philosophies that make up what they claim is the Book of Moses. And all the Jewish scholars have studied all four of them. And I've heard it from some of them. A few even asked me, how did you know? And they try to get me into a discussion to find out what I know. But me, I ask questions. Instead of answering their questions, I ask a question. I said, should you be worried about what I know?
why don't you tell this guy walking down the street what you just told me? And if so, who are you? How did you know these things? Instead of me asking questions about what I know, I question what do they know? To find out if they know more than I do and where they get their information from. That's what more our people have to do. Yes, they're afraid of the Hebrews, yes. But not of these ones that we have today, because they are a creation of them. People don't comprehend it, not understand, comprehend that the ones standing on the street today were created by them. And, well, not go there. But we have to study, learn, get our story, learn our story. If you knew our story, what Trump is doing today, you wouldn't be worried about.
Iran's interpretation of these prophecies suggests that once the Black Israelites reclaim their divine identity, a monumental shift in spiritual and political power will occur. The very foundations of deception, which have upheld unjust rulers and corrupt institutions, will begin to crumble. Their awakening will be akin to a great spiritual earthquake, shaking the highest levels of global authority and ushering in a new era of divine justice. Iranian scholars emphasize that this war is not merely a conflict between different religious traditions, but a cosmic struggle between good and evil. They cite historical patterns in which those who have sought to reveal the truth about the Black Israelites have faced persecution, exile, and erasure. From the transatlantic slave trade to colonial missionary efforts, they argue that every major attempt to control Black populations has included a systematic suppression of their true heritage. This is seen not as a coincidence, but as an intentional strategy employed by Satan to prevent God's chosen people from recognizing their role in the grand narrative of redemption. The implications of this awakening are profound. Iranian theologians predict that as more Black Israelites uncover their spiritual heritage, global unrest will intensify. The established religious and political systems, having long thrived on misinformation and oppression, will react with increasing desperation to suppress this truth. Iranian scholars view this as mirroring the prophetic struggles of the past, where divine truth has always faced fierce resistance before ultimately prevailing.
I hope you are listening. He said it's mirroring the past. And I've always told you, this thing is repeating. It is not going in a straight line forward. The things that you're seeing now has occurred before. We are repeating, and it goes through this repeated process to allow those who want to escape. It's like the sun rising every day. You go to the job every day, and one day you decide, you know what, I want to quit this job. I want something else. I can't take this anymore. So you move. Every day you wake up, you used to be a bank robber. One day you decide, you know, I want to stop bank robbing. I want to do something different. And you change. There's people don't understand, don't comprehend really. I mean, yeah. Speaking in a language that people see is that use every day is, I gotta stop this because sometimes the words used are not correct. So you gotta comprehend. Comprehension means seeing everything, the whole story, the whole picture. Comprehension. That's one of the things that we have to learn. There's a repeat. Every year you got 4 seasons. And though they went move slightly longer, shorter, and all that, they remain. One year we don't have winter for the whole year or summer for the whole year. It changes. The earth changes through those times. But then 7 years later, or 400 years later, or 700 years later, or 19,000 years later, the time that was once summer, if you're keeping the calendar as it is now winter. So whereas December you get cold, winter, now June, winter's in June. But the calendar never stay the same. It changes too. Told you. This is a cycle. This cycles and they change. You gotta study this thing. Please, I'm begging you. Well, I shouldn't be begging you. It's up to you. You have to change yourself in order to know these things. And when you know these things, then you begin to teach somebody else. And it's not necessarily the family that's going to understand, comprehend these things and change. Your children might not change, but your friend might. And somebody just hear you speaking on this might come along and start questioning it, and they leave and they go home and start questioning it, and their life changes. So you see what's going on. Even Iran, the scholars are talking about this, but look at what the government is doing. The leadership of the government is also the religious leader. He doesn't talk about this. So he's going along with the program that all the nations follow. Don't you get it? They're all in it. Because it's allowing them to stay where they are. Well, we, our people, we are staying where we are. See how it is? He's saying, as soon as we find out, we begin to change the way the system works. When we change the system, we change the world. So, the fear is not in us just finding out, but us acting. The fear is our action after we find out. Peace, y'all.